I have to put the sound a bit off right now. How are you guys doing? Let's go. I'm here. I have to still put on my camera real quick and turn on the lights, so yeah. I don't know, I think the I accidentally started OBS in safe mode, so that's probably why I can't do a multi-stream right now, because in safe mode the functions don't really work, the add-ons. Hello, DeLuca and Ari. Oh, you're gonna hear me sneeze sometimes, I think. Okay. I'm turning on the music real quick as well. There you go. That's the music. I hope you can hear. I hope the volume is alright with the music. Are you sick? I don't know. I don't really think so. I was sick a bit, like earlier this week. I think the problem is like I have a allergy and I've not solved the source of the allergy yet. So the problem is like there's too much dust by my bed because I have certain edges there, and it collects dust basically, and I have to clean it because that makes me a bit sick. So every time I go to bed, my nose gets triggered again, and eventually later on the day I don't really notice it anymore, and then I go to bed and it happens again. So I need to clean my the edges near my bed. Alright, so we have the tier list stream here. Also, I can remove the Twitch block now because yeah, that's not gonna work. Oh, what the heck is that line? Lol. Okay, that line is kind of being there for no reason now. Let's see. Webcam. There you go, that's better. Can I zoom in a little bit? Okay, there you go. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit easier. Today I am celebrating, by the way, 8 years of making content, because 21st of July is the day, like that's my channel anniversary, kind of. Maybe, can I show my first video? I don't know if I want to show that right now. If you guys at some point want me to watch my first video and react to it or something, then please tell me. I was planning on making a tier list today. But we kind of do need some people to react, to also participate in it. Otherwise it's gonna be a bit boring, I think. But Luca, if you wanna make this tier list together with me, the idea is that, and Ari as well, if you're here still. The idea is that we're going to rank every year based on how good the roles were from that year that were added. I think it's too early, or there maybe with holiday. Typically, like I know Rainy Shondo is here and Freddy is here as well. Maybe they're coming later. Wait, did I think I did share this stream, right, in my Discord server? Yeah, I did. I don't know past years. Well, I will put the roles from every year on the screen when we are talking about the year, and then the only thing is you need to know what the rules are. So yeah, that's kind of like a thing. But I have the game on. We can also start playing. Then I will just invite you if you want to play with me, and then and when some more people are in, we're gonna switch to the tier lists. Yeah. We can also do that. Then I will just write down your username and we'll start playing a little bit. Because if there's only you, it might just be worth waiting a little bit. Hello, Lisco Cleaner, and welcome in. Will nostalgia be a factor in the rating? I mean, like, it's also up to you, in my opinion. But if we are rating the rules, I would say we are rating them based on fun and on rule design, and not really on strength this time around. So yeah, last time with the tier list we based them off strength, but this time we don't. Like, e.g., a zombie would drag down the year, for example, at least for me, because it's a shit roll. And what would be a good roll? Maybe Conjurer, Preacher, those type of rolls would drag up a year, in my opinion. But maybe your definition of how fun a roll is, a roll design, is different. But we can, I think we can, maybe we can start it now. Okay, you know, do we do a random order, or do we do, like, okay, since you just started, Luca, we're gonna check 2026, I think, first. I don't know if we're gonna do this, like, downwards, but like all the time, I mean. But we can start in 2026, because you should know, like, most of these roles being released and stuff if you started playing last year. So for 2026 we have 8 roles so far. This is gonna change definitely, because I know there's a couple roles still, like, that they kind of leaked, but they haven't really put it in the game yet. I mean, Wolf is actually not from this year. I will put them on the screen right now. Okay, that's quite chaotic. I will need to put them... I will need to edit them real quick. That's annoying. Maybe I should have done this pre-stream. So I will just, I don't know if I can also just call, I can also say what they are. But yeah, we started this year with the Resolutionist. Then we got to the Cupid, or the Valentine event. That was with Admirer and... Oh, that is not looking really correctly. So we have Snatcher, Admirer, Wolf Magician, Resolutionist, Firework Wolf, Evil Cupid, Easter Bunny, the rework, Deep Sea Terror. That's everything. If we look at this, oh my god, that's a huge pop-up that I get. I hate how Resolutionist looks. Really? I mean, it looks a bit boring, maybe. It's detailed, but it looks a little bit like a boring guy. Obviously, there's not really much nostalgia, at least not for me, in this set of roles right here. But yeah, if we look at the general quality of 2026 roles so far, you love the Wolf Magician. I think it's definitely an interesting premise. I don't know if I would say it's like very balanced at all. But it's a interesting premise. Like, if I look at the actual shit rolls of this Like, I don't really know what Deep Sea Terror does exactly still. Snatcher Wolf is hard to judge for me because I have 0 plays as the Snatcher Wolf. Like, genuinely. So far though, I feel like 2026 is not like half bad actually. It has like arguably the better event rules than 2025, because in 2025 they were introduced. And they were not really great, especially not in the beginning, so yeah, I think Deep Sea Terror is kind of what would drag this down. Easter Bunny is kind of with the random... Wolfenstein is a bit strong maybe. Evil Cupid is pretty interesting. I like the Resolutionist as a role and the Firework Wolf as a role the most, I think. Snatcher is also, like, I don't know, it's there. Admirer is also pretty okay. Yeah, Easter Bunny is definitely unique, I would say. With the RNG. It is the RNG element, but it's like not in a very harmful way. Like, I don't like how the pumpkin dealer works, but I like with Easter Bunny that your order of what you are gonna give when is like randomized, but you know when it's gonna come, so you can like still adjust accordingly. With the pumpkin dealer, you cannot adjust at all. Really, you just don't know what's gonna happen. But with this, you can actually adjust. Sometimes it is gonna be definitely better than other times. Like recently, I got to play this role. I think it was on last week's stream, and I had a horrible order with like information very late in the game when it was a very slow game, and I really needed the information quickly and the rule blocks later. But yeah, it was the other way around. So yeah, I think my feeling in general so far, like, we also need to kind of keep in mind the amount, the quantity. Like, quality matters, but quantity also kind of matters. And if we look at the quantity of rolls, I would say it's a really high year so far. Like, if this would continue for the rest of the year, we would have around 12, 14 new rolls by the end of the year, I think. That is like... Is that top 3? It's like top... I think that might be top 3, top 4 amount of rolls per year. Like, definitely on the higher side. So I think for that, I would probably give this a B or a C rating so far. But what is your idea? Firecracker is good. You get like a kill even when you don't. Like, if you attack protected person, you get firework. Yeah, that's what I like. I like the firework wolf too. It's definitely also better this sign than the party wolf, because party wolf is just like, it's literally a werewolf gunner. You can just get rid of someone very quickly without like having needed to stay passive the night before. So yeah, you don't know where we can put it on C tier for now as a benchmark, but I think we're gonna move this a little up eventually. Yeah. Then I will remove the rolls from 2026. Okay, maybe for you, Luca, to show a benchmark. Hello, Rainy. Welcome in. If you want to participate in the tier list, you are very welcome. We are rating the years based on what roles released and how good they were in terms of role design and in terms of how fun they are. But yeah, Luca, for comparison, we can do 2021. And 2021 is this. And yeah, well, this is a not very interesting year, I will tell you that. So first of all, we have a caveat, because Easter Bunny is here as well, but this is the initial Easter Bunny. Initial Easter Bunny was a festivity roll that was basically just like you get to what was it actually about? It was you had to distribute an egg and the dead players could pass on the egg or something like that. Basically it was an unprovable, very boring village roll. And this is everything that there is to 2021. Actually, there's like only 4 rolls. 2 of them are festivity rolls. And then that's like the Pumpkin King. We've not really seen this. Or did we see this last Halloween? I don't remember. Maybe for a little bit, but it does basically nothing as well. Easter Bunny is kind of meh. Back then, at least. The only proper roles that were added to 2021 are like Grave Robber. Which, yeah, I have said a lot about Grave Robber, I think. But I don't like this role, really. It's good for crazy game modes, and that's it. And Alchemist, which arguably is the only good role from 2021. So, I would say this is a very... Grave Robber is an okay role. I would disagree, but... it is at least better than festivity rolls when it comes to how useful it is to the game as well. Alchemist is for me the only good thing, and I would say Alchemist is a good role. I do remember though, but we are not rating, like there's like 2, I think I made 2 exceptions to the rule here with our role reworks, namely the Easter Bunny and the Fortune Teller. But the Alchemist back then was kind of different as well. If I remember this correctly, you had like a red and a black potion. And I think the red potion did nothing and the black one killed. And you basically, the red potion just existed to scare people or something. Yeah, it was different, yeah. So it was a weaker role than it is than now, for sure. I am really tempted to put this in the F tier because it's just like, yeah, we had like 4 rolls only. This is the least amount of rolls that we've ever gotten in 1 year. So yeah, don't expect a year with 1 or 2 rolls. And when we look at the quality, it is not really that high either. But let me know what you think. How are we gonna rank a year with only 4 rolls? Yeah, I mean, I said like quantity also kind of matters to me. But yeah, if it's a high amount of rolls and they're all shit, then of course it's going to... then it's gonna make it even worse. But in that regard, like, I don't know. If I'm telling now, if any year is gonna be on the FT, it has to be 2021, I think. I don't think there's any year that has like similar bad quality / a low amount of rolls. Okay, I kind of need to... I think I need to get a tissue real quick for my nose. Your bedroom or the room looks so cool though. Yeah, thank you. I live in a wagon actually. My bed is like up here. I'll put 2021 here. I've never did a... I don't think I've ever done a tour in my wagon actually, now that I think of it. Maybe I should do that one day, but I don't know, yeah. If that would be interesting extra content or not. if any of you has a disagreement with 2021 being on the F tier, tell me. But I think it's the only rule that can go, the only year that can go there if we are gonna put any year there. I'm thinking what year are we gonna do next? There's like 2 other years that had a very low amount of roles introduced, namely 24 and 2020, I think. Tier F seems good, yeah. We can check like the other 2 like very poor years in terms of role releases, so you guys have a better grasp of their quality. We're gonna do 2020. I would say that the roles released in this year are arguably quite a bit better. Here we have a controversial one here though, namely the Wolf Pacifist, because Wolf Pacifist by then used to be very different from what it is now. Well, but not different enough to give it like a different appearance in a different year. I think it was last year when they changed it. But with Wolf Pacifist, back then, Wolf Pacifist revealed the role of the player that they would reveal to everyone. So I always said like this is just a weaker Guardian Werewolf because you protect on the voting phase, but at the cost of the village getting more info. And as Werewolf you don't really want the village to get more info typically. So, but nowadays Wolf Pacifist is definitely stronger than Guardian Wolf because your info is just very can be very useful. This is everything when it comes to 2020 though. Bandit, yeah, also a controversial role really. It is like probably the best converter role, but yeah, it's a converter role, so I'm not really a fan of it. Forger is actually something funny that came. Forger came to the game through one of my videos, so that is kind of funny. It didn't change too much back then. It was like, it was mandated to first forge 2 swords before, or shields, I mean, before you could make your shield. No, first you had to make 2 shields and then you could make your sword. So, Forger back then, you had to survive for 6 nights in order to give out a sword at all. So, typically this would just be like a mostly protective role. But nowadays it's of course freedom of choice when you're gonna make what. Well, Wolf Pacifist I said what it changed. Loudmouth has not changed at all, I think. And neither has Shadow Wolf, although Shadow Wolf can now see the votes during the shadow, but that used not to be the case. And also like the moment of triggering is different because now it automatically just, whenever you activate it, it only shows that it's activated when the voting phase starts. But back then it was like, okay, you click on the button and everyone knows it. That is the difference. So I would say 2020. Yeah, I think you can see this is already better than 2021 with those 4 roles in which 2 were like essentially useless back then and the other 2 were like, yeah, questionable quality. I would say here Loudmouth is okay, Forger is good, Shadow Wolf is a really good role in my opinion. Wolf Pacifist is also good right now, at least. Bandit is okay. It's much better than 2021, yeah. But it is still quite low on roles because we're gonna have a year that has like 30 plus roles. So like 5 roles is not that much. I remember this was really sad by then because 2020 was kind of when Wolvesville peaked, if I remember correctly, in terms of players because of COVID. So a lot of players came in. These 5 roles all released at once. It was like March, I think. So around that time, all the people just joined, and then there was just radio silence when it came to new roles. The next new roles came somewhere in the first half of 2021. I think in April of 2021. So it took like a year for them to introduce new roles. You know, that is in hindsight, a really missed opportunity, because they had so many players that came into this game because of the pandemic, and they did not capitalize on it when it came to roles, at least, because yeah, they should have released roles back then. Like, if they did, then there would be constant hype around the game, and they could have maintained the player base a bit better, maybe. But yeah, that was not the case. Yeah, we have a year with 30 plus roles. Yeah, that was 2018. But 2018 does have some questionable quality, though. Sometimes. But for 2020, yeah, I'm leaning towards either upper F tier or the D. Maybe the D tier would be better, because I think the quality is good enough to make a D tier. Oh yeah, if you count accomplice, by the way, this is also in this year, but I don't really. I've decided to not count the random categories, and also not accomplice and sec member as its own roles. And also, I actually did include the crazy game mode roles, but not the test roles. So I would say it's either T tier or it's high F tier. But I don't know if it's like worth high F tier in terms of quality. It's better than F, maybe. It's definitely better than 2021. It was a good year in terms of roles, yeah. But I think in hindsight, it would have been better if it would have been cool to see more roles released. But yeah, back then they didn't have the role card system, which meant that every role, I guess it's still kind of true to some degree now, but back then every role was just taking a spot of another role. In the sense that when these 5 roles came in, that means like, okay, Bandit came in, so we're gonna have the sec leader and the zombie appear less in games, because Bandit is now gonna share that converter spot with these roles. And technically that's still the case, but now it's like up to the player instead of up to the developers. And that's why they probably did the role card system. So I would say D tier would be okay for now. Wait, something... I did accidentally remove 2026, I think. Okay. What is a fun year to go to now? What are you curious about, Luca or Reini? There's still a couple options, obviously, and I think we've had the 24 has like 5 rules as well. 2025 has already 15. Euros was in 25 last year. We can do 2025. 2025 has 15 rules, but 2 of them are crazy game mode, namely the time traveler. Here you have New Wolf right in your face. There's a lot of roles here. Party Wolf also from last year, Nutcracker. Most of these roles are... Oh! Most of these roles are event roles, by the way. Like 8 of the 15, which yeah, technically is most. There are a couple normal roles though. Like if I think out of my head, 8 were like event rules, 2 were crazy game mode, so 5 were like normal rules. Then Ferryman, Soulbinder, Ghost Wolf. What's the other? Shapeshifter is there. And Party Wolf, yeah. But Party Wolf back then was actually festivity role. it wasn't really integrated into the rule card systems till like the last update. So, oh no, the update before, because when the Wolf Magician came, that was when it came as a rule, as a base rule. So this is like all 2025, a lot of rules, as you can see. Like if we're gonna compare, hello Frame Tolly, welcome in. Time traveler rules, though I don't remember how they work. I didn't play them. I started playing around that time. Yeah, time traveler is like, if you activate your ability, it just rolls back time, and it is kind of broken in my opinion. Like it is really a big advantage to the village. But yeah, it's a crazy game with it's a crazy game with a reason, and I think that's fine in that context. So, you know, nobody is forced to play the time traveler roles or with those roles in the game, and they can be fun occasionally. I'm always like, when a role is really for crazy game modes / custom games, I'm always much more lenient on their design, because people don't have to be bothered with like bad role design if it's just in these game modes. And if you're gonna actually use something in a quick game sandbox or even ranked, then you need to have like a higher threshold for quality. It's very village-sided, yeah. And the Wolf Time Traveler is very counterintuitive, because if you use your ability, you're probably going to help the village more than yourself. So it's just really strange. Why would you have a Wolf Time Traveler just as a counterpart? But it's not like really useful in its own way. Okay. So that is 2025 in a nutshell. Okay. If we look at this. Okay, I know Headless Horseman is one of the least popular roles in the game, I think. Yeah, okay, so when it comes to like actually good roles, in my opinion, you have the Ferryman, that's a good role. Soulbinder as well. Soulbinder is a good. Nutcracker is good, I think. Shapeshifter is ok. I'm gonna vote the time traveler rules. I would also put them in the okay tier. Pumpkin Oracle was slightly bad. Candy Wolf was actually a really cool one. New Wolf as well. I like Candy and New Wolf. Like, with the and the Ghost Wolf is pretty cool. Pumpkin Dealer, I think this is atrocious. Party Wolf is also actually kind of bad. Snow Angel's decent. Evil Santa is maybe here, and Headless Horseman is also maybe here. So this is how I would rate them. But then the bottom ones are like good rolls, and the top ones are like the worst. I'm sorry to people who love Pumpkin Dealer, but yeah. What does the Shapeshifter do? It just takes your roll, right? But you can't even use it. No, you cannot use the roll. It just changes your appearance to seers and stuff, but it is kind of like, it's not really strong enough. Especially not compared to Corruptor, Illusionist, Blight. So, in that regard, I think... Yeah, when you look at this, I don't know if you would agree, if you guys would agree with how I put these roles here. Probably not entirely. And maybe I'm too harsh on these top 3 roles right now, but yeah, to me this really screams like, in terms of amount of roles, it is an okay year. I would say 15 roles in 1 year is definitely a good amount, maybe even a little bit high. But I think when it comes to quality, like, they have definitely improved when it comes to the quality with event roles, in my opinion, because last year, just the Pumpkin rolls and the Headless Horseman, all these 3 came in the same event, by the way. Like, that was just a really bad start. The only good roll was the Candy Wolf from that first event. And the second event had like Yule Wolf, which is good, Nutcracker is good, Snow Angel is good, Evil Sensei is also pretty okay. Party Wolf is just, yeah, I don't know. Party Wolf is fun roll, but then it gets boring after playing it 2 times. It is a bit boring, yeah. It's also very simple. What I don't like, what I think is the most annoying about Party Wolf is that beginners get to play with this roll. So you see it a lot. You see the Party Wolf doing the same things a lot of times. It's like always when it is exposed. Well, obviously that is a decent amount to shoot, but you just, because it's a base roll, you see it all the time in the game, and that is just, it's kind of annoying to play against, honestly. Like, I wouldn't say balance wise, but just like, it's a bit toxic. The Priest and Party Werewolf fun race is funny. I've not really seen it though in action. What is your take on this, by the way, Frey Toldy? In case you have one. Or Reini. I think this year, 2025, could be like a C tier as well as 2026. But I have to say that I like the 2026 rolls a little bit better overall. But I have to say, like, the good rolls from 2025 are really good rolls sometimes. Snow Angel is... yeah, Snow Angel is pretty good, I have to say. Ferryman and Soulbind, I really like these rolls. Yule Wolf is also really cool. Nutcracker is also really cool. This is a really cool mechanic. Candy Wolf is also really cool. And Ghost Wolf is a bit less creative, but it's balanced enough. Okay. I find Ghost Wolf not being able to speak with Metro Dead Tree kind of weird. Yeah, it is kind of weird, but at the same time, it is able to speak with the werewolves when it's dead. So C tier would feel fair for 2025. Yeah, I think the C tier would be good, and I would put it below 2026 personally, purely based on roll quality. Of course, 2026 is not over. There's still a chance that 2026 is gonna have some atrocious rolls, but so far it's looking better. So we would put it here then. These were decent ideas, but not the most balanced. Yeah, they're definitely creative rolls, I would say so too. Okay, that is like almost half the year's done. Like, we might as well rank the years, like, bit within the tiers. But yeah, so far I think we've done that. What is an interesting year now? We have 2018, which is... Or 2018, that was like a year with many rolls. 2019 had a fair amount of rolls too. 2022 has a lot of rolls. Like, that's the second highest amount. 2023 is interesting. I made a lot of shorts on these rolls. 24 is the other one that has like a very low count. Let's do 24 right now. Okay, 24. I looked at this yesterday because, you know, I had the idea initially. Let's make custom games, and for every year we're gonna make one custom setup, and we're going to only include rolls from that year. And then I realized that the 2024 setup only has evil rolls, so that would be really, yeah, it would be some sort of experience for sure. But like in 24, genuinely no new village rolls were added, and it's also not that many. But let's see if the quality is at least good. Okay, Anarchist, Wolfscribe, Swamp Wolf, Lurker, and Blight. That's everything to 24. Yeah, I think Swamp Wolf was a bit different initially because it didn't roll-block rules. It was just the chatting thing and just the voting fake votes. Wolfscribe hasn't changed too much. Anarchist also not changed too much. Lurk has not changed too much. Blight also not too much. So it's been pretty. These rules are pretty much the same since back then. Oh, that's my alarm bell. Oh, I love Wolfscribe, but it's kind of hard to get value out of. You have to be a good player with Wolfscribe. You need to know who is good to scribe and as what role. But you also need to play something along, because if you don't do any claims, it's not gonna really work. Lurker is the type of role you play once, get bored and tired of Cursed. Like, I don't like Cursed, but sometimes you have to vote against Phil when you're Phil, because then you get turned later and lose. Yeah. The problem is, like, not everyone gets to be Lurker. Like, I mean, a lot of people don't like Cursed, including myself, but that is because the rule set is so limited on what the Cursed can do as a villager. And if you are literally, if you are only allowed to claim Cursed really and sit back and do nothing and wait for, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you can do as Cursed you have, like, I guess, the freedom to do soft pushes and hard pushes, but that's really it. Then of course people are gonna upgrade the Cursed role, and yeah, then they have to be lucky to get Lurker if they want that. But yeah, you can also get Werewolf Fan, that's also a good role in its own right, and same for Grave Robber. It's like, well, not a good role, but definitely a more fun role than the Cursed. Anarchist is the only voting role that has an active, yeah. But there's only Headhunter and Fool otherwise, so it's not that many other options. So I would say Blight is a pretty okay role. Scribe is, I like Scribe as well as Lurker. Anarchist is an okay role. Swamp is kinda I would say there's, apart from Scribe maybe, there's no single role here that really makes me think, wow, great. But I wouldn't say there's an atrocious one here either. So this is literally the definition of mid. But then also with just 5 roles, this kind of makes me, yeah, think this should be a D tier here as well. But I wonder what you guys think, because yeah, obviously, maybe you think it is higher or even F tier. Like, I would say that nowadays, with these roles, Anarchist, Wolfscribe, and Lurker are definitely staples of the game. And they are also used competitively, if I am correct. I am thinking, like, is it better than 2020, though? Is it better than the year with Shadow Wolf, which was a standout role for me, and then Bandit, and Wolf Pacifist, and Forger, and Loudmouth? Like, that is genuinely quite hard to say, because I would say Shadow Wolf and Scribe have similar quality. Bandit would be, I think in general, I would slightly edge 2020, but maybe that's nostalgia for me. Yeah, Wolfscribe definitely carried this year, because, I mean, Lurker is alright for me, but you feel it's better than, okay, we'll put it, I think we'll put it above 2020. It doesn't, it's not much of a difference, in my opinion, anyways, but then we will put 2020 here, and this is 24, right? Yes. We'll put 24 here. Okay. Now what? Now we only have years that have like quite a lot of rules. Okay. Should we do the mammoth year that was 2018, or should we? Yeah, we can. I think we'll do 2018 as the last one, because 2018 has so much to talk about. You know, let's do another OG year, 2019. This is what I believe... Oh, this is a really interesting year. This has 14 rules. But all of them are like staples of the game. Or not all maybe, but like some very... Like, Luca, you probably don't know really what came in 2019 and stuff, but some of these rules are like, how are they this old? And some of them are like, how are they not older maybe? So the concept of nightmares didn't exist, for example, when the game kind of came around. Well, if you look at like Illusionist and Corruptor, how similar they are, they both released this year, so they were not that unique, especially not back then, from each other. Oh, not 2002. Like, I'm trying to set everything at 200 pixels, okay. Cannibal, Werewolf Berserk, Spirit Seer, Sheriff, Santa Claus, also quite unused, Red Lady, Nightmare Werewolf, Marksman, Kitten Wolf, but I'm gonna give an asterisk to the Kitten Wolf because maybe I should have included Kitten Wolf elsewhere as well, because Kitten Wolf had a really major change. You really like... Wolf Nightmare is that old. It is quite old, yeah, 2019. So this is 2019. Okay, so there was one update that is in particular very interesting. The last update of 2019. I'm gonna put them apart real quick. These 4 roles... that came in December 2019, and back then Santa Claus was the only one that was the same as now. Fortune Teller by then, if I remember this correctly, Fortune Teller in 2019 when it released, it didn't have like the if I died that people get revealed. This was literally just 2 people get a card and they cannot choose what role they reveal as. They cannot choose it, so they get a card and they can either review it or not whenever they want to, but if they review it, shows their true role. So basically this role acted like just a way to reveal 2 people, because either you would use your card if you're a villager and you got this role and you got a card from the fortune teller, and if you would not use your card it would be suspicious, because why would you not reveal your role, right? So yeah, that was fortune teller back then. Aka quite broken. Illusionist. Oh, Illusionist was... I think Illusionist didn't change that much. But there was a difference, but I'm not sure what it was exactly. I think it was slower. Kitten Wolf is the biggest changer. Kitten Wolf is... Now it is like... I think now Kitten Wolf is quite okay. Kitten Wolf back then, so this is kind of interesting. The Kitten Wolf, it didn't have to die to convert someone. So basically, at night, Kitten Wolf just had a paw icon, and they could select someone and they would just convert that player. Of course, they had to be villager and they had to be like unprotected, I think. But yeah, you didn't have to die to get an extra player in. You could just like, yeah, get a 5th werewolf. Like, right off the bat. So, at any time you wanted. So, that is just so broken. Kitten Wolf was like an ass roll back then. And a lot of people were a fan of it because it was that OP, of course. But yeah. Oh yeah, Fortune Teller was also RSV initially. Which I would say, with what it did, was worth of being RSV. But nowadays... I mean, some people you might argue it could still be RSV tier because of how easy it is to prove yourself. But yeah, maybe it's probably not quite strong enough to be RSV, but it used to be really... it used to be really strong. And then you have all these other rules. So basically what I think, like, these top rules are all really bad. This was a shit update in December 2019. The other rules, though, are really good. In fact, because Guardian Wolf, well, obviously this is exactly the same as it used to be back then. Same for Flower Child. I don't even think they came with the same update, but maybe they did. There we had the Cannibal and the Corruptor, both really good solo killers in my opinion. Sheriff, good role. Red Lady, a good role. Spirit Seer is a really good role, definitely a staple of the game. Nightmare and Berserk, also good roles. Like, Marksman, a good role. Marksman is actually, I know the creator of Marksman. Yeah. This is, in my opinion, like, when we're looking at the average quality of the roles, this is one of the best years. But the amount of roles also there, and FOMO is just it kind of gets held back by by those four four roles on the top. So I don't know what you guys think, but this is definitely the best year that we've had so far. That we discussed on this tier list. These are good roles. Some were OP back then, but got balanced time with time, and luckily they did. Like, if we look at the roles how they are now, Fortune Teller, Fortune Teller is the role that with an asterisk. I did put Fortune Teller in 2023 because that's when it got reworked. Which means we are going to count the Fortune Teller as it used to be back then. Which means it's not a good role. Other than that, though, I would say, like, all these roles deserve, like, A or S tier, especially in the bottom. But back then, like, yeah, Santa is actually not too atrocious. Santa is really, like, harmless. Yeah, it's self-proofable with the ho ho ho, but I think an A tier would be good, yeah, as well, because there's not really... It's hard to get much better, and it's not perfect, but I think this is a decent year. You haven't seen Santa before. Santa is basically like... you're a villager, and twice per game and you can say ho 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 at night. That's everything you do. And 4 times per game you can gift a gift to a dead player, if I'm correct. 4 times. And, well, the ho ho ho, the gift is basically just you get a cosmetic. There's a cosmetic bound to the Santa Claus, and you get that cosmetics if you have not already had it, and otherwise it's literally nothing. But the ho 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 is like the thing that makes this role arguably a bit useful, because you can just say like, hey, I'm going to say hey, ho 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 next night. Then you do that, and then you are proven good. So yeah, which is kind of a lame mechanic, honestly, but yeah, it's the only thing that really separates this from Easter Bunny and Pumpkin King. It's a great year. A high tier ranking seems fair. Yeah, I think A tier is also fair. But that is what Santa does. Like, a lot of roles did not change from 2019. If you think of it. I think we can do the next year now. Let's look 2019 there. And let's do 23, and then we go to the 2 years with the most roles. 2022 is a year with many roles because this is when the roll card system got introduced. So we had a lot of roles that needed to be added so that old roles could like fit in the roll card system appropriately. And 2018 is, yeah, well, a big year, obviously, because the game was just getting started and they had a lot of fresh ideas that could still work. Also some ideas that did not really work. And yeah, 2023, this is a relatively small year. Well, it's not that small, it's like middle tier range, but quality wise, this is an interesting one. Also, Randy, how is it like to not have your standard bully here? You have your Freddy. You finally feel some freedom. I know where he is, by the way. I don't know where he is. He might be on holiday or something, but he has also not like really sent anything recently to me, so alright, this is 2023. Blind Werewolf, Wolfluencer, Toxic Wolf, a lot of werewolves actually. Stormwolf, Siren, Judge, Fortune Teller. This is the second Fortune Teller year that we are gonna discuss. Fortune Teller actually had 2 changes this year. Confusion Wolf, Butcher, Bully. Okay. These are pretty much all the rules. So, okay, let's first talk about Fortune Teller, because this had a major change this year. So that's why I put it here. 2023 Fortune Teller. Initially, it changed us from, like, at some point they completely nuked Fortune Teller from the roll card system. They never, I don't know if they initially included it, but I think it was not included in the roll card system at all, and it was basically just a custom game exclusive for more than a year. 2023 brought it back, and I think initially you could initially it was just 2 people get a card and they can choose to reveal as any roll, and that's it. And then later on there came also the addition of like, if Fortune Teller dies and people have unused cards, then their real roll gets revealed. So the initial rework of Fortune Teller was kind of a weak Fortune Teller iteration. The current one is probably the most balanced one, unironically, even though it is kind of on the strong side still. If we look at the villagers apart, the Judge is a cool role, Conjurer is a good role, Butcher is, well, I think Butcher is a kind of weird role because I'm not a big hater on the Butcher. The problem with the Butcher is just, if it shows up as advanced role of the Doctor, then it becomes just a stronger version of the Doctor. And if it's an RSV or RV, I mean, it's a pretty strong RV. But if you just have a setup, fixed Butcher, and you balance it around that, it's a fine role for sure. Bully, also a pretty cool role, definitely unique. Siren was the only solo. Siren did change actually, because initially you had to kill everyone. Now you can just have like, if everyone alive is basically you or entranced, you win already. So now it's a really strong role. Back then it was actually not really that strong. But I'm still gonna count the current version because I don't think the change warrants enough to have 2 iterations of it. I wonder where he is. Yeah, same. Pretty strong werewolves besides Storm. In terms of role balance, I would say, because Storm is, well, also maybe in terms of like how useful they are. Storm, if anything is gonna drag down this year, it's definitely the Storm Wolf. Like, this is just a really annoying rule. This also got a couple changes over time, but I'm just gonna count the current one here. I like Bully, but I think it needs a bit more skill than just plain Vigilante. Definitely does need more skill, yeah. Same with Gunner, it also needs more skill because you have to be more careful with who you're going to pop instead of like reveal as Vigilante. Confusion Wolf is an okay role. Toxic Wolf is a pretty good role. Wolfluencer is a good role. I hope it was just a little bit different. And Blind Werewolf is also a pretty okay role. So Oh no, I think it's a pretty decent year here again. Like, the amount of roles, it's 11 roles as well, so it's not too... This is like, for me, this is the perfect amount of roles to add in a year. This keeps the game fresh enough, but also at the same time, it doesn't overwhelm anyone, really, I think. And if you look at how many of these roles are like ranked, are like competitively viable, they have the blind werewolf, you have the wolfluencers, maybe viable, but only if it's fixed and if it's moderated appropriately. Toxic wolf as well. Confusion wolf, I don't know if it's really ranked viable. I think might be. Siren, I don't know. Judge is definitely. Bully is as well. And I think Conjurer is. That's really all. Because Butcher is too strong. Fortune Teller is like, yeah, kind of gimmicky. Has like a self-revealing thing. Are you doing how to play those role videos ever? I am going to come back to these videos, yes, pretty soon. Currently I'm working on the update contest. And I'm making one more short for Freddy, who requested it with his membership. And then I'm going to... Actually, I'm gonna finish a gameplay video that I made. Like, I did a sandbox episode recently. I just need to do commentary over it and edit it, and then it's over. But yeah, I did the, you know, the thing with the icons everywhere when someone claimed. I did that part of that video already. So that's gonna come somewhere, I think, in early August. And then my plan is to do, like, whilst working on the update contest still, also work on a how to play this video. So my idea is to release a how to play this video somewhere in August. And then I will be back in that series as well. But I don't know, it kind of depends on how long it takes for me to make that video. How often I will also release them. Conjurer being a selfish medium related role was a good concept. Yes, absolutely. Conjurer is definitely... If Stormwolf drags this down, Conjurer drags this up, you know? For me. And Judge is also a really cool role. Although in some context it reminds me a bit of Warden, namely that it is... It sometimes if it's played in a certain way, it is really unfair to the werewolves. It may, or not unfair, I would say that it is kind of like Warden, how Warden has that effect that if you see a Warden in your game, you're not going to really easily claim a role that is fixed in the setup as werewolf, because you know, okay, Warden is probably gonna jail me with the other person who claimed that role, and then, yeah, I'm cooked. And Judge has kind of a similar thing, in that if there's a 1-for-1, you're just, one of you is gonna be judged. And that's also with Fiji, by the way. And with Bully and Gunner, I would say that's not really that big of an issue, because they have to really do a correct read to get the kill correctly. Or they have to gamble. So my faults here is like either low A or high B, I think. It's definitely better than... It's just, well, I think it's better than C tier, but it's, I don't know, B tier might be fair here. Was this the year where they introduced the review rework? I don't know, I don't think so, actually. I think the review thing for Vigilante and Pacifist and Wolf Pacifist, I think you mean, is from 2024. So this was still before that. You think B as well. What is the review rework? Yeah, so the review rework was basically, you know, nowadays if Vigilante reveals, they know the role of that player. But it used to be that Vigilante reveals someone and then everyone just immediately knows the role. So this was kind of funny because this was requested by the community, including myself. I was also in favor of this Vigilante rework, and also discounts for the Pacifist and the Wolf Pacifist too, because they also used to reveal the role to everyone, like right off the bat. instead of like having to tell everyone and only seeing them for themselves. But the idea was like, okay, if Vigilante is going to only know it themselves, then people are going to be able to counterclaim the Vigilante, because a little bit better at least, because they can just say like, hey, I am Vigilante and I revealed this player as. The problem that I also kind of overlooked is that now Vigilante, if they reveal Medium, it's not a problem, because they can just say like, okay, this player is good. But back then, if the Vigilante revealed the Medium, then there was suddenly a bit of drama, because the werewolves could just know the Medium. So that's the change. There has been like a bit of controversy over this reveal rework. Back then, it was really a topic. I remember like the rank community pushing against how it is right now, and I think back then I didn't agree, but now I do agree with them. Like that this is maybe not the best way to have a reveal rework, but in general, like revealing rules just, they're not really that good in general. Like that's the problem. Like there's only one reveal role that I'm actually really fine with. Well, technically Bellringer counts as a reveal role as well, but it needs a bit of effort. But the only one that I'm like okay with is the Loudmouth, because it needs to die to reveal. So it's like you have to give a significant sacrifice to get the reveal to work. So, and it can be countered as well. Or maybe even abused, because Fool can also claim Loudmouth. Like that's a that's like a classic strategy, claiming Avenger or Loudmouth as Fool, and then proposing that you're going to help the village by solving some sort of role claim issue with someone maybe being Fool or maybe being the real Beast Hunter, for example, but then you are actually the Fool all along as Loudmouth or Avenger claim. But yeah, I think this goes B tier. At least that's what Frame Tolly says. I would say B tier as well, by the way. Does the strategy as Fool even work though? Yeah, it still works, but I don't see it happen too often anymore. You know, back then Vigilante wasn't a thing, so some cases like you had to risk it. So then if someone just, and if people weren't smart enough, in ranked this would not work at some point anymore. Although I do remember that I think I did get a win as Fool in ranked, claiming Avenger and saying like, okay, if you kill me, I will tag someone who you want me to tag, so I can clear things up, and then I just ran away with the victory. But in Sandbox, yeah, if you have Vigilante, it just doesn't work. Or you have to claim this very late in the game, then it might still work. When the village is kind of out of resources to do it safely otherwise. When I play Vil, always are so guarded as long as Fool is alive. Yeah. That was also back then. But nowadays, Village has more material to sort that out specifically. And in Ranked, at least in 2019, maybe still in Ranked, there's just less reveal rules, so... And if there's then also no Informer that can separate that, then you're really... At some point, you're really left to risking if the werewolves don't clear it up themselves. Also works with FC. Hey, you can vote me if you're sus of me, I will protect myself anyways. Yeah, that also does work with Flower Child, indeed. I don't think I've won with that claiming Flower Child, but it's definitely totally possible. But you do need to make sure that there's no Guardian Wolf in your game, because otherwise people are gonna just frame you as a Guardian Werewolf. Well, then they might actually also just lynch you, by the way, but... Okay. I'm gonna get some water real quick. But I think we're gonna move to 2022. So 2022. 2022 is the biggest year that we have discussed so far. 25 roles here. This is of course the year with the roll card update. And after that, I think there might have been another 6 roles that got introduced in the Cyber update and the Assassins update. Man, that is like saying those updates just... That makes me a bit nostalgic, to be fair, because... Of course, I was already around there for a long time, but that's what, like, the first themed updates that Wolvesville had. Before that, updates just came when they were ready, or of course they do that as well right now. But now we are like on a 2-month cycle with updates, and back then it was just like random. You didn't really know when it was coming. Well, they would announce it sometimes, but they were just working on it, and now they have a real schedule with updates, which I think helps. Although it makes it a bit difficult maybe sometimes to work on really big projects. Like a clan update would have maybe been quicker out right now if it was for that old system. 25 rules is so much, yeah. And I remember, like, I didn't play very actively at that point, because in 21 I kind of took a break. So yeah, I did miss the only update that I truly missed was the update that brought like Alchemist, Easter Bunny, and Grave Robber. 21. Okay, these are all the roles. Analyst, Wolf Trickster, Wolf Sum. Okay, I will sort the roles. So there's like Wolf Summoner is I think from the Cyber update. I will put the 6 roles on the side that are like not from the roll card update itself. Theo is Cyber update 2. Fiji is a little bit older, but Vigilante got tested in 21 already, but official release 2022. Split Wolf is also 22. Ritualist is here. Preacher is here. Night Watchman is here. Morty was here. Jelly is like Assassin's update. Instigator should go here. Ghost Lady should go here. Gambler, I think Assassin's update 2, but okay, I'm definitely making something. Oh yeah, Bellringer is also its own update. Bellringer is kind of funny. It had its own update. I think this is also... Astronomer is Assassin's update. Assassin 2, I guess. But Assassin is a crazy game mode exclusive, obviously. So this is all the new roles from 2022. Roll card update. Instigator, Ghost Lady, Evil Detective, Baker, Trapper, Stubborn, Split, Ritu, a Preacher, Night Watchman, Morty, Vigilante, Warden, Trickster, Whirlfan, Analyst, and Voodoo. And then we have like the Cyber update had Summoner, Theo. Theo was really bad back then, by the way. And Flagger. And then we have Jelly, Gambler. Jelly was a bit different, but not much different. Astronomer, Assassin, and Bellringer. Actually, Astronomer, now to think of it, Astronomer worked differently back then. Actually, it was good back then. Or, nah, not good. It's not too different now anymore, but... Fun fact, I started playing in 2022. Did you start, like, before or after the roll card update then? Or don't you know? Oh, you missed the roll card update, so I didn't get the free advanced rules for OG player cards. Astro is in this, yes. It is the Assassins update from November, I think. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something really cursed. I think Frayne told you should know this, or you might recognize this. Where's the I think this is special icons. Sorted by or no. Where I have the old icon for the bell ringer. I have the old icon for the bell ringer. It was a bit different. But I need to be... Oh yeah, OG icons. Okay, the quality is not too high. But there you have it. It's like gold. The bell ringer used to be gold instead of like silver. Goated rolls, to be honest. Yeah, there are a couple questions to be asked with some of these rolls, but let's start with the roll card update, because this was like technically the earliest update here. Instigator didn't change much. Ghost Lady didn't. Ghost Lady actually had a funny thing that back then you could just visit the solo killer. This got changed like relatively late. Back then you could just visit, in a 1v1 you could just visit the solo killer and the game would not automatically end. So the solo killer could do nothing against you and it would just die. Evil Detective didn't change, I think, at all. Or maybe it... Yeah, at some point I think it did. Namely that it said, like, now it says what team they are on. But back then it didn't. Baker didn't change. Trapper didn't change. Stubborn did change. So Stubborn back then, if you were attacked, you would just be wounded and you would die next in the phoning phase, I think. Or at the start of the next night. So it was like kind of like tough guy. Werewolf but tough guy shield. Split Wolf. I do recall that it was a change, but I don't know exactly what it was. Ritualist didn't change. Preacher... did Preacher change? I think it might have. Night Watchman had 2 protections back then, now it has 3. Morty didn't change, Fiji didn't change, apart from the reveal thing. Warden didn't change. Trickster didn't change, Werewolf didn't change. Analyst didn't change, and Voodoo didn't change. So these roles are relatively the same. The gold bell ringer looks so weird. It is kind of weird, yeah. It used to be like this, but it changes actually really quickly, so... What was the roll card update? You used to not have roll cards. No, you did. It used to be like without roll cards. So... Basically, you had like 16 fixed rolls in a setup, or like RVs maybe, and everyone could play anything. Really. Yeah, there were talismans, but... I have to go out. Maybe I'll be back later. See you later, Rainy Sando. Or Rainy Sando. The only OP rolls from the roll card update I can see is the Trapper and the old Ghost Lady. So it isn't the worst with the balancing. Yeah, Instigator is some interesting things. Instigator is obviously a fan favorite. When it comes to... if I think, like... If I see these rolls, like, in my opinion, the most... problematic role right now is the Night Watchman of this update. The Night Watchman is like the most problematic one. Vigilante, also not a fan of Fiji, but Night Watchman is the biggest problem in my opinion. And not really Ghost Daddy. That bug used to be strange, and it's nice that it got solved. But Night Watchman is actually still a problematic role. But in general, I would say the quality is okay here. I did make a tier list, by the way. Or tier list. I did make a 2-part series in which I ranked every 2022 role. But then we are going to the themed updates. Wolf Summoner. I think back then Wolf Summoner would just revive someone for... They would revive someone for 1 day as well. Like, it was like Stubborn Werewolf. So the player who would revived would just die again when the phoning phase or the next night came around. So yeah, the village had exactly 0 incentive to kill like a revived werewolf. But now it's actually kind of useful. to just waste a village voting phase with it. Problem. The only good thing Wolf Summoner had was like either meeting the win condition where you were really tight, or if you were gonna trigger a trap or the tough guy, then you could just revive someone to do that for you instead of like having to sacrifice an actual living werewolf with an ability. Flagger is actually the same as it is now. Theo used to be actually super weak because now, you know, if the first person to die at night or the day is the person you're going to have as reference. But back then, the night didn't count. So if nobody died at daytime, you would have no info next night. And the problem was that this role usually came as the main informer. Or sometimes it came with something like Morty or some role that didn't get like quick info, and if no evil is found by the other informer, then Theo is not gonna be of any help at all. Or if the other informer just dies night one, or just get like role blocked and finds like a good player, then Theo is not gonna have any contribution. So this used to be extremely weak. And also it used to be aura related. Yes, it was like back then you had like Aura Seer as a base role, Gambler, Spirit Seer, and Theo as advanced roles. But now it's Sheriff. Oh yeah, you could redirect back to back. Yeah, but like you still had only 2 redirects, so it's not like I would say too big of a change. But it is good that it changed. Oh yeah, now that you bring it up. Yeah, Sophia would replace the Aura Seer, meaning that if it came with the Aura Seer in the game, like how it would be right now, potentially, then it's fair because Aura Seer is gonna find the evils, and then starting when someone is getting lynched, then you get to work, and then you get a ball rolling as well. But back then, like you really needed a seer or analyst or something to fight the evils, and if that wasn't the case, then yeah, you would be useless. So Theo was really bad. And then we had the Assassin's update, Jelly Wolf, like there is a change, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Gambler, I think Gambler didn't have limited amount of village checks immediately, but I'm not completely sure on it. There was a change, but it was quickly resolved. Astronomer used to be wildly different, because Astronomer initially, when using New Moon, everyone would be role blocked. So this would just be useful to have like an extra voting phase if you knew multiple evils and you didn't need info anymore. You could just use your New Moon, block everyone, no killing would happen, but also no new info would come around. And then you had a bit more time, you had an extra voting phase to vote out 2 werewolves before they could like get an extra kill on you. So actually a balanced role. Apart from the system message, obviously, which is still an issue, but then they changed it so that only werewolves would be blocked, and now made it like, yeah, really unfair. It was like yeah. Nowadays, though, I have to say, there's been a lot of things. The recent update changed so much for the Astronomer narrative, to the degree that I would say like there's only one problem now with the Astro, not 2, and that is it needs that system message gone, so that people don't know if there is a new moon, apart from the werewolves and the Astro itself. You know, you still have your meteor shower anyways to prove yourself. So if you really need to prove yourself, you have to like take the risk and show and fire that meteor shower, in my opinion. And it's like not really healthy to just be able to reveal yourself day 1 with the system message. But other than that, Astro, nowadays when it comes to the protection, it's decently fine because there's plenty of stuff you can do as a werewolf. Like for the firework wolf, if you have that in your game, you can just load up a firework in that night. You can convert someone like Kitten Wolf with the Kitten Wolf ability, or if there's a cursed or werewolf fan or lurker, you can convert them if you want to. You can also attack actually a trap if you want to remove a trap, but you don't want to. But people already know the weakest werewolf, for example. You can attack a tough guy if the weakest werewolf is already known. You can attack a bodyguard to remove a shield from them. There's a couple options now that you can do in an Astro night as werewolf, and that makes it like interesting. You know, you are limited. You cannot kill the seer, but at least you can do something. I don't know if it's a bug or it's not. I don't know either, actually. I've heard it recently in the comment section. Someone told me that it works like that. I hope it does work. I hope it does stay like that. That the Astro is actually like only blocking an actual kill instead of like blocking a lot of things. And yeah, that's in terms of the Astronomer. Assassin, yeah, speaks for itself. It's a crazy game mode. And the Bell Ringer, don't think that changed apart from the icon then, which looks very funny. But like I think for me this feels like it's already a bit different. But I do remember this vividly. But it's kind of funny if you've never seen the gold icon. This used to be how it looked like. But yeah, hello Wolvesville, you're in. So, oh no, this is a huge year. I don't know, Luca, if you have, or anyone here, Frank Toldy, what you think of 2022. In hindsight, I would say this is a pretty decent year in terms of roles. I wish Astronomer didn't exist, and I wish that Night Watchman didn't exist, but other than that, I'm actually quite fine with what they brought here. Red Lady was 2019, and it's an 80 year, so overall I think high A or low S. We can put this, I would say the same, but you guys let me know as well, everyone here, but how good are the rules in 2022? And yeah, I'm not gonna change 20A and 19, I think, because it just when you have to compare it with 2022 and 2018, it doesn't hold up to how many rules were added in 2019. And Red Lady is like 2019 had a good standard of rules, but Red Lady was not a standout in a bad or good way, really. And you had Astro, but you also had Theo and Morty as weaker roles. Yep. I think we will let's put it in the S tier. I don't know if it's gonna be like the top S tier or the bottom S tier. If we're gonna put 2018 there actually in first place. But there's a good chance that this finish on top. Now the next one. This is gonna take me some time to put everything in the right spot. To put everything correctly on screen, because oh my god, this is a lot of roles. Sorted by year, 2018, and my lord, we have 34 roles here. This is where the game started with. Of course, not everything was there when we started. I'm gonna sort. I will, for a bit of history, I will sort. Based on update, but now I need to, of course, make everything like small. It's annoying that I cannot like bulk do this. Also, hello, Hack Beaver. Welcome in. What is up with August 10th? Oh. ...2018 definitely has some things, because... Of course, there's like a lot of fundamental rules that got added in 2018, but there's also a lot of atrocious rules, genuinely, in 2018. I would say, like, if we look at years with many rules, so 2022, 2019, maybe 25 as well. Well, 25 I wouldn't compare that with this, but 23 maybe. Like, those have like relatively high standards and low amount of flops. But 2018 has quite a couple flops actually, so... What released on August 10th? I don't know. Probably Red Lady, because Wolvesville brings it up. He's obsessed with Red Lady. No, Avenger wasn't released on August 10th. Avenger was actually... I don't know the exact date, but it was like end of August though. Or was it August? Wait, I must look now. I can check. I can find that. I can search for that, sure. Game updates. Control F, Avenger. And then searching for the oldest one. No, it was the 22nd of August. Wait, if I look for Red Lady, then Red Lady wasn't either. Red Lady was on July 2nd. I don't know what the August 10th is. August 10th is Wizard of Oz movie release date. Oh, so you think that's when we're gonna see the new rules? The wizard role, right? And maybe Dorothy as well. Interesting, by the way. Now that I think of it, that's actually quite interesting that they celebrate that, because that kind of gives me a hint that we might get more. That we might get, well, actually collabs. I don't know, but they might actually do references with more media stuff. So, which I would say, interesting inspiration, sure. I'm gonna sort these roles a little bit, by the way. But there's a lot of roles. Okay, first of all, let me put the OG 9 roles on the top left. Alpha belongs there too. This is really nostalgia for me. Not every role. I wasn't there from the beginning, so I think the July update was the first one that I actively played. Doctor's actually also OG. I missed one role there. Oh yeah, Gunner. So this is 2018, a lot of rules, as you can see. Oh, Evil Wizard. What role do you think deserves a new advanced? Maybe Flower Child. But maybe Detective as well. Detective and Seer are like the roles that I would say like are the ones that you see a lot but don't have a lot. Same with Cupid, but definitely something that has 2 roles only. Sheriff would be a good one too. Okay, but let's not talk about what's coming right now. Especially not if you're gonna do like speculation / leaking. That is something you can do in the Discord server, namely in my Discord server in that channel. Alright, 2018. So we started the game started with Seer, Forkman, Gunner, Doctor. That was like the village, essentially, and then Serial Killer, Fool, and Sorcerer, Alpha Werewolf, and Regular Werewolf. Sorcerer was a bit different back then. I think other than Sorcerer, like nothing changed. Everything was the same back then as it is now. Sorcerer did change though. Sorcerer didn't used to have the reveal thing. It was literally just its own werewolf, kinda. So, every time that I look at these 9 roles, I feel like, okay, most of them make sense to be like the OG roles, apart from Sorcerer. That's just a weird thing that it's like, that it existed for that long. Also, I don't have this asset, unfortunately. At least I think I don't have this, but Sorcerer used to have a different icon, and it looked a bit more like Seer, but then evil. And of course, this looks like Seer, but evil too. But it didn't have that gray. It had that same color scheme as the Seer, but then more evil. Start rules are good. Yeah. In terms of quality, I would say they are good. I think Sorcerer is fine still. Then, after that, I'm gonna pick the roles that came after. I don't know exactly the order of the roles, but I will put them on the top. These are roles that came relatively quickly in the months after the first 9. That also was the Aura Seer. That was also the Headhunter, the Shaman, and the Medium. I think that is all that came like relatively quickly after that. Yes, I'm pretty sure that is. So these 7 roles on top right are the 7 roles that came after in a certain order. They had like, I think they rolled out over 5 or 6 updates, and they like had 1 or 2 roles every time. July 2nd is your birthday. Oh, happy belated birthday then, Freintoldi. I only read it now. Okay, so what do you guys think in terms of the quality of these 7? I think Bodyguard's good, Priest is good, Jailer is good, Oracy is good. I think they're all good, actually. Headhunter is the most questionable one, but it's good. So back then, Shaman used to be the best werewolf out of Alpha and Regular. Yes, Shaman used to be the strong werewolf in the team. Yeah, which, yeah, especially like before the Aura Seer was a thing, Alpha werewolf didn't have like that unknown aura advantage either. So literally, Alpha werewolf was just a werewolf with more votes back then. Also, there would be no incentive either to have like Seer checking Sorcerer. Oh yeah, so that's something I should say too. Sorcerer used to not have a disguise back then. So you would just show a Sorcerer as Sorcerer. So back then, for the Seer, it didn't really matter much if they would check the regular werewolf, Alpha werewolf, or Sorcerer. They just know evil. And they probably, if anything, they wanted to check the solos, but that's kind of still the case. But Shaman got like, was like an actual useful role in that time. This is also before I started playing, by the way. This is like think March, April, May rules. These 7 here. Bodyguard, Priest. I would say a pretty good set of roles from those months. Then I need to look what came next. Yeah, so now in June, where is the next update? There's like a Grumpy. If I look at Grumpy Grandma, because I know Grumpy Grandma is like the... Oh, this is the end of June. So the next update, this came in June, was Arso, Sec Leader. What else was there? I forgot already. Oh yeah, Grumpy Grandma and Wolfseer. So also funny thing, Grumpy Grandma is actually a grandma of rules, kind of, because it's like old. No, I don't want really any talk about like future updates. Maybe you can talk about like the theme, if anything. But Wolfville, I would prefer if you kind of stick to either the topic here or just like maybe IRL stuff. But yeah, everyone else is like having more of a debate around this as well. There's a lot of roles here, yeah. So June update, this is like obviously like the Grumpy Grandma was in the game for a very short amount of time actually. Wolfseer was a really good role, for obvious reasons, because that means we got rid of Sorcerer, and Sorcerer was kind of like useless in that time. And it was nice that Wolfseer could finally replace it. Arsonist, good role. Sec Leader, yeah. First, this kind of introduced conversion roles to the game, so yeah, not a fan of it. But Sec Leader was, back then it was kind of hype, for sure. This is like, right after this update I joined the game, by the way. Isn't there legacy mode? There is legacy mode, yes. And you can like, it's not, it's not 100% correct. There are a couple rules that are like missing, and there's also a couple rules that are like definitely a bit newer, but there's not like actual new rules obviously there. I don't know the exact setup anymore though, but there's definitely a couple rules in that setup that are like not that are like not from the OG days. Wolfseer is a really good role, especially if you look at the fact that we only had Sorcerer apart from that. So this is kind of, the regular werewolf didn't fade out yet from setups, but I think this is where the Sorcerer kind of faded out of the setups. Because they would typically have like, okay, typically setups had like Wolfseer, Shaman, Alpha, Reg Werewolf back then. So this is like decent. Then you had the July update. July had 4 roles too. So Beast Hunter, Junior Werewolf, Cupid. This is the first update that I actually experienced. Back then I played quick game. This was a thing too, I need to say. I don't know if Frayne totally remembers this, how old this is. But I know that Luca has not, like, I know Luca, you have definitely not experienced this era. But it used to be impossible to invite your friends to Sandbox. So if you wanted to play with your friends, you had to play quick game. Because custom games didn't exist in this time. Ranked actually almost, yeah, it barely existed. But you couldn't play ranked with friends. If you wanted to play with friends, it would just be quick game. So what I used to do when I just started this out, I was playing with my cousin and my brother. We would just we would be in the same room and we would time when we would join, so that we could play sandbox together. And sometimes we got unlucky, then we had to play like it out. That's also where I got my flee rate from, by the way. Like we had to flee a lot because it wasn't severe. It wasn't punished as severely as it is right now. It was punished, but not as much. And we just wanted to play together. And if we were frustrated because we couldn't fix the timing, we would play quick game. But the setups in Sandbox were much more interesting. And it had like Beast Hunter, and it had Junior, and it had Cupid, and it had Mayor. Which, yeah, now it sounds like very basic. Like literally all these rules are base rules. But back then this was exciting. So that's kind of different. Cute is a fire rule, not gonna lie. Not because the good mechanically, but just like the concept. Yeah, it's a staple of like werewolf games, really. I remember when Jelly Werewolf got tested. I think I don't remember correct 100% when it got tested. If that was like pre-update, pre-roll card update, or after the roll card update, but between Cyber update and Assassins update. I don't remember exactly when that one got tested, but it did get a very short amount of tests. But is that when you started? Hyper, are you planning to do any sandbox or custom games with us after tier list is over? It depends on the time, but probably I could maybe do like looking depending on how many people we have up for a custom game. I would be down to do a giveaway game in custom real quick after the tier list. I definitely promise to do a giveaway in some way, so we will do something for sure. Maybe I do a tier, a membership, maybe something in game. Only unfortunate part of memberships is that it gives like totally random, so it's not like I can't guarantee that it goes to any of you guys, even if I really wanted to, because YouTube just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Yeah, so far no big issues. Especially this update, man. I remember this was crazy. It was actually fun to play. It was really special to play with these roles, because with those 4 roles, because they just, you wouldn't see them in quick game. And also back then, Junior Werewolf, this was still not fading out the regular Werewolf, by the way. Junior Werewolf, it was either Junior or Shaman usually, or Alpha. Like typically there were 2 of those 3 roles in the game, with Wolfseer and then with regular Werewolf. I know what kind of giveaway. No, that's not that giveaway. We're not doing that giveaway yet. Alright, then we have 2 more updates. The August update. So this was right before my birthday. This is a 5 role update. This is like crazy if you think of it. Like every month there would just be new roles, and then not 1 or 2, but 4 or 5. What is also from this update? Cursed. So this update, this is definitely an update that I remember quite well. I even made a video. I covered this update. This is the first role update that I covered, I think, with the new roles, and I called it like an early birthday gift or something, because Avenger came here, and that was like pretty quickly already my favorite role. Of course, this is also another thing, like there is definitely a nostalgia part in there, because like clearly this is the first this is the first update that I actively remember being released. Like I didn't really experience the cycle of Beast Hunter Jr. because I wasn't in Discord back then, but this was in the time that I was definitely more active in the community. I also made videos about this update and not about this one, because yeah, I started making videos on the 21st of July, but I started playing like early July. So yeah, these roles, man. Cursed is yeah, it was a good role to have as an addition, but nowadays nobody wants to play Cursed. Any new roles announced so far? You mean for like later this year? I don't know. There's like we've seen like Cowardly Lion, Dorothy, and the Evil Wizard. Those have like, are they like announced? I don't know. They're not really announced, but according to Wolvesville, we should expect some roles like soonish. But yeah, Avenger being like 2018 is also kind of crazy. Like, if we're gonna go role by role, Cursed is like, back then it was a good addition. Now it's like, well, nobody wants to play this. Avenger, definitely a solid addition. This was creatively speaking not that interesting. This was literally the Junior Werewolf counterpart, but it wasn't really necessary in that regard. Witch is a good addition, also another staple of werewolf games. President was controversial because President, you know, until recently, the President bug was a thing. Like, the President bug has been existing since this introduction. That where it's not a bug, I would say, it's just an exploit. If someone is President and they flee, the game wouldn't just keep the President in the game. The President would just be gone, the whole gimmick would be gone, and then the game would just play out normally. So this was a very easy cheat code for villagers that were looking like we were in a bad situation because the protection was out. Now the President could just flee if they wanted to up their flee rate, and the village would be fine, or maybe not. But and yeah, Detective is like, I would say, like, objectively speaking, Detective is definitely the best role in this update here. But what do you guys think of the these 5 roles? This is where the quality becomes a bit more questionable, I think. Especially if we I don't remember, I think it's October or November. W update, I think. Yeah, I mean, right now it's a decent update for sure. Now though, October or November, I don't remember correctly when this was. This update. And this was like a really bad update for roles. Like, Pacifist is like such a... especially now there's a relative like good amount of good rolls. There's also more stinky rolls, but like the balance has been quite equal when it comes to good and bad rolls over time. Back then, like, we had a lot of good rolls, but then suddenly you get like Pacifist, which was like the first reveal ability. Yeah, I guess Seer maybe, but the first reveal ability added to the game. It works exactly like it used to, apart from that revealing change with that it became private. Tough Guys works the same as back then. Sea Apprentice didn't. Sea Apprentice could only... Oh yeah, Sea Apprentice was really weak because it could only become the Seer. So if the Aura Seer would die, nothing would happen. So it was also the case, like, in the setup making, since roll cards were not a thing, they didn't have to keep that in mind. They always, like, if the Seer Apprentice is in the setup, they make a Seer as well appear, because otherwise the Seer Apprentice is like basically a Forkman. But it's in customs, you could include the Seer Apprentice and not include the Seer, which would be just really strange. And yeah, the Zombie is like especially like the worst role from this whole year. There he comes, Zombie, also him, the Pacifist, and the Bomber, which didn't... Oh yeah, the Bomber... Oh yeah, the Bomber is also funny. Because the Bomber, back in 2018, it could be killed by werewolves. It didn't have, like, night immunity from werewolves. So, this was, like, so weak, because you could just... Yeah, first of all, the geography thing was already a thing. So you had to rely on luck on where the players aligned, and then if it kind of got out of hand, if you got in a good position, the werewolves would just kill you. So yeah, the Bomber was just atrocious. Zombie was atrocious. Pacifist was atrocious. Sea Apprentice was not what it is right now. The only rule that's arguably a bit good was the Tough Guy. But even Tough Guy is like, nowadays not even like, it's not a universally agreed good role. So, yeah, this was just a shit update. And it kind of ruined 2018 because everything up till then was pretty decent. Apart maybe from the sect leader and the president. But yeah, that is hilarious. It's hilarious. You can't imagine how it would be. It's like, it's essentially like sect leader, but then entirely solo. Like, nobody would ever have incentive to protect you either. Maybe it's more comparable to Headless Horseman then in that regard. But Headless Horseman at least has some village immunity, but this doesn't. Boomer is just like, luckily it changed pretty quickly, but it was so bad. But yeah, what do you guys just leave 2018 at? Like, I am... It's like, I think it's S tier based on the sheer amount of roles that we have right here. But I don't know, is the quality higher than 2022? I hate Zombie, I don't know why, I just don't like it. I don't like it either, but it's just like, especially like how annoying it is to play against the Zombie as Werewolf and his village. It's like maybe the only role that I would say like I work with the werewolves as villager to eliminate it. Kind of tough to rank for me, yeah, because of the amount of roles, and there are some really good ones. Like if I say like Serial Killer is pretty good, Gunner is really good. There's a lot of standard roles that you would just take for granted, but there are like really good actually. Like, yeah, it's difficult to take Forkman and the regular werewolf as a reference there, but Serial Killer good role, Full was essential, Doctor is really essential, Gunner is essential, Bodyguard good role, Priest good role, Jada good, Aura is really good, Medium is good, maybe a bit strong actually, but it's fine. Shaman is a really good role, Headhunter is pretty good. Of course it was like village aligned, so you either win by... Back then it was like either you win if your target gets lynched, and if your target dies by other means, you win with the village, which is kind of lame. Luckily they changed that. Arsonist is good. Wolfseer is really good. Beast Hunter is good, really good I would say. Junior is really good. Mayor is Cupid is, yeah, mechanically pretty interesting. Granny was also pretty good. Detective is really good. Witch is really good. Avenger, in my opinion, really good, but I know not everyone agrees. President, as a gimmick, nowadays it's really good, but back then, not really. Curse, I would say it's pretty good. But then you had, like, yeah, a couple of stinkers there. Zombie, Passy, Bomber, maybe Sect Leader. I will say S because Forkman is there, okay? What do you think, Luca? I like Avenger more than Loudmouth. I will fight you for that. I also like it more than Loudmouth, but that I think that was already clear. Like, Avenger is my favorite role still, so... But it's the most difficult thing is like, I think when it comes to average quality, I think it's worse than 2022, but the sheer amount of roles and how many essentials there are here. I would say that with 2022 roles, you could still like make a lot of very good games. Like, you could make gimmicky games, you could make balanced games, you could have a lot of variety as well with just 2018. By the end of 2018, it was like the RV category wasn't that big, Like, if you look at what roles were like in the category of the RVs, you had Doctor, you had Forkman, actually, back then. That could show as RV, Bodyguard, Priest, Aura, Beast Hunter, Grumpy Grandma, Mayor, Witch, Avenger, Sea Apprentice. That's also kind of weird if you think of it. Sea Apprentice, imagine RV as the Sea Apprentice, but not... I think it was actually banned from RVs if the Seer didn't exist. I think that was a mechanic. So the RV, there were like only 13 RVs back in 2018. It's your favorite? It is my favorite, yes. The real question is like, is it better than 2022? I don't think... I don't know, is it better? It's really... What do you think? Oh. Like, imagine it, like this happens right now, these rules don't exist. Would you be more hyped to see like the 2022 rules or the 2018 rules to roll around in the game? That's also a way to think about it. Like, the amount of rules, if you have 34 rules in 1 year, on average that is like 3 rules per month almost. So like, that's a high amount. You can't imagine that anymore. 2022. Okay. Yeah, I think the stinkers of 2018 are worse than 2022. And that's really... Because when it comes to good rolls, I think they're similar in quality as well. So I think it's really about like quantity or the stinkers. It's so many rolls. It's difficult to make a good to have a good say on it. But yeah, I think I will put a 22 on top then in that case. Okay, I will delete them. So this is kind of where we end up with 2021, of course, in last place, because, yeah, well, Pumpkin King, Easter Bunny, the initial one then, Grave Robber and Alchemist, that was everything in 21, so pretty bad. Useless rolls, couple. Then we have 2020, which has like Forger, Shadow, Wolf Passy, Bandit, and Loudmouth. Not many either. 24. 24 was like Lurker. I think Scribe. Yeah. Swamp, Blight, and Anarchist. So not many rolls again. Then we had 25, which had like a lot of rolls, but the event rolls in 25 were not that great. Not all of them at least. And you also have like the Time Traveler rolls. Then we have 24, which... Oh no, 24 we already had it. 26. 26 is a couple good rolls so far. And then... in B tier we have the 2023 rolls, which is like... the year with like standouts like Siren, Conjurer, Bully, Butcher maybe, Wolfluencer, Judge, and the Confusion Wolf. 2019 also really high, of course. 2019 has a really solid quality in rolls. Unfortunately, the Kitten Wolf just sucked, as well as the Fortune Teller, Santa Claus, and Ilu. Because if these rolls were not 2019, but they would have been different rolls, I think we could have put 2019 really in the S tier, because the average quality plus a decent amount of rolls, that would have been really good. Yeah, Red Lady came from 2019 too, but also stuff like Nightmare of a Guardian, Corruptor, and Canny. Spirit Seer is like a standout role for me in 2019. And then we have 2018, where we just looked at. 22 has a lot of roles with the roll card system. I think 22, like there's like 2 bad rolls in 2022 in Astro and Night Watchman. But other than that, pretty good year. Fiji maybe. But yeah, I think what do you guys think of this tier list? I'm pretty happy with this tier list right here. Maybe we have to align this a little bit better. Alright. So I'm happy with it too. Okay, that's nice. 2019 S tier. If it wasn't for Kitten Wolf, we could have done it in S tier. And Fortune Teller as well. In particular, those 2. I don't know much about the previous years, but I hopefully look up for you. Maybe you learned some stuff from this. I know you're not gonna remember everything, of course, but maybe I hope it was also interesting to you to see like what rules kind of released when. Also, yeah, I learned a lot about it. It was fun. It is like a kind of a history. It's a class of history, kind of. But definitely let me know what is the role, I should say. What is like the role that surprised you the most? That it was like this young or this old? And that goes for anyone, by the way, because I think nobody of you played like back in the day, right? So, what role did you not expect to be as old or young as it is? In the meantime, I'm gonna get some water, and I will set up a custom game actually for a giveaway, and that will be the end of this stream. Only killers. Is this public? We can do this publicly. Yeah. Oh wait, maybe maybe you should have the game on. It is public, by the way. Anyone can join. Nightmare of Fiji in 22. It was kind of gooped because Fiji was there all the time since I started. I was at baseball, so I thought it would be older. Yeah, it's in that way. It's like I don't know exactly the sentiment around Fiji because I wasn't as active in the time that the Fiji got tested first. But I do remember that. Like, I was definitely a bit disappointed that Fiji came into the game. I really remember that. Because the gunner was always like the standard, you know? Like, every game had a gunner, pretty much. Every game. But there was like a bit of... In ranked, they would then maybe just have like games with Witch, Jade, or Priest and no gunner. But other than that, every game had a gunner. That was just the standard. And gunner is also like a very old role. It is one of the OG 9 roles, so I think it's like, I think within the 9 roles you also have like 3 different releases. I think they started with Doctor, Seer, Forkman and regular Werewolf, and then they added the Fool and the Gunner and Sorcerer or Alpha, and then came like the Serial Killer, and I think then Serial Killer came with the Sorcerer or the Alpha as well. I don't really remember. Does the stream have a delay or is it a problem from my side? There's a small delay, but it shouldn't be that big. What is your name, Luca? I can invite you. You made a short about this, you dumb... What do you mean? About what? I'm noobest of all. Oh, you did join. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll just play. Am I Deep Sea Terror? Yep. Okay. You have to join from the custom games, yeah. I killed the highest number. I don't know exactly. I still always forget what this role does. Okay, I need to kill. The marking thing doesn't really matter. Okay. Okay, again, to mark 2 people. I can like kill everyone essentially. Nobody's voting. Ah, there's a second Deep Sea Terror. Okay. We have to kill them like quickly. Like, I don't know who is gonna... what they're doing. Ah, 4 wins. Okay, GG4. We'll see. I don't know if they... I see messages, but it's from I Want Games. Okay. You know, we can play one game of Sandbox. We'll play one game of Sandbox, but I have to like go after that for sure. Do this, then let me know. Everyone who wants to join, please drop your username in there. And I need to be Astro, right? So you're on equipping this and that. Wait, what's my other challenge? Oh, I don't have Noobest of all. Wait, I'm going to... Noobest. Yeah, I don't have you friended. You will need to send me friend requests real quick. If you want to join. You have to add me, yes. My username is hypostein. No, almost. Yeah, first the E and then the I. So yeah, here you see my 270 fleas. Well, I can guarantee you there's like almost 200 of them are like from 2018 when I fled a lot trying to match up with my cousin and my brother. You edit. Yes, I see you here. I don't know if OO is gonna... send me a friend request to claim the thing. Otherwise, I don't have a giveaway. Then I will probably just do a membership. What do we have? Hello. How do you say that? Garrux? I'm gonna call you Garrux, I think. Happy Friday. Alright. That's everything, I think. We can start? Or do you, if Garrux, if you wanna join, let me know right now. And also, yeah, if you have me friended, then I can invite you. Do I have an appointment? I don't think I have an appointment right now. Yeah, I just need to go to the toilet at some point. Alright. I'm gonna start now. So I need to be sorted. Oh, I need to... Okay, 1 RV only. Okay, 1 random informer and 1 RV. Okay. Okay, what's the other challenge I need to do? Give 5 rows. Okay, we're doing that for sure. That's easy. Let's see, we're gonna find 2 other players to give roses to eventually. Also, hopefully I don't die. Oh my god. My goodness. Okay. Yeah, 9. I don't know about you. It might be random info. You know, I would be interested to see like who the Cupid is, because I could totally link up with the Cupid. Yeah, I want to go 9 here, honestly. $15 red. Oh wait, 15 jailer. I don't know. Should I like contact with 11 or 2? I don't know. I think I would rather wait for someone. Be sure. Wait, who did the werewolf skill? That should like probably be the best thing. 2 could be very fair. But maybe I want to link up. Maybe it's better to link up with someone who's alive when I die. Oh my god, we're not going too well. Like the... What is 9? Okay, I assume... Wait, but Spirit Seer is there too. Wait, that is sus. Nightmare. I mean, I guess like Confusion Wolf becoming Nightmare Werewolf now, but that's really... I mean, it could. Okay, then. Yeah, this was not good. We got cooked. Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't trust you. I think 13 should have claimed much earlier. Still. Yeah, it's not looking good. I think Serial Killer is gonna get lynched now. Logically speaking, though. They lynched a tough guy. Yeah, we are definitely cool. The thing is, like, if we are lucky, 11 is werewolf and one claimed Beast Hunter actually. Why 10? What did 10 do then? Did they flee or so? Nine was real. I was literally just... I was questioning whether 9 would be real. The only thing we can really hope for is that that one was not really Beast Hunter, and it might have been like Fool, but also the Stubborn has been attacked actually. Okay, Stubborn did get attacked by SK. I think they're now voting the SK. Honestly, it looks like 5 was SK. Who is Cupid then? They said Free Cupid the dead, so let's see if that's true. Yep. So 5, who claimed Cupid? Who did I trust to be Cupid? I think 5. Yeah. Wolf and Jesse and turning someone into Split is actually quite smart here. Also, me linking with 1 is actually a misplay of the century, because like that is like just totally making everything like, yeah. I don't know what one ever just said, but oh my god, I completely made a misplay. Free Cupid, that's actually true. He said he lied about him being Beast Hunter though. So one was indeed SK killed Werewolf. You were thinking about Jewel too. Yeah, there was a fair one opposite. To be fair, there was a Spirit Seer, so we had like what? We had a random villager being Spirit Seer. That is also a bit confusing. Random villager SS and then RIR detective and detective also fixed. Doctor and Beast Hunter died quite early. Tough guy, yeah. Like the problem was like for me, I don't know what 13 was doing. He was a bit slow with giving info, which of course with so many informers makes you suspicious. Why did 13... Wait, with who did 13 get... 5 didn't equal 13, so... And they trusted 5. Why did they trust 5 though? Yeah, 5 Cupid. Aha. You know what? I should have linked with 5. Completely commit to it. Pretending it was like, or trying to make it play like, yeah, I think if I committed to 5, then I would have like been able to ask who the couple is because they are claiming Cupid. Then I know, okay, you are not speaking the truth probably, unless they really happen to guess it correctly. And then if they don't speak the truth, I can come out with that info. And then just, we got 5 maybe lynched. That could have helped. Of course, it would have meant that I would be exposed as part of the couple. But at least we could have gotten out the serial killer. And we are both village. We could have won with village anyways. That's how we figured out 5 was SK. Wolfseer checked 4 the fool. So, yeah. I figured at some point you said like that also came clear to me, but it was pretty late already. Yeah, that Confusion Wolf, I think if anything, the Confusion Wolf linking up with the serial killer really did it to us. Because that meant that the Cupid was like a claimable role suddenly. Oh yeah, I forgot about the roses now. Then I will just do it another time. Alright. I gotta go. I'm not on Twitch, so I don't have to... I'm not gonna worry about raiding, obviously. Yeah, I'm not on Twitch today. I booted the OBS up in the wrong way. You know, once I was live, I was like, okay, this is kind of annoying. Wait, actually, let me do... I'm still gonna do some giveaway. I forgot I would do that. I'm gonna do a membership giveaway. Forkman tier member. Okay, I have to do this on my phone, by the way. So if I look away a bit, then that's what I'm doing. I am... gonna give away a membership right now. I will do this for my alt, I think, I guess. Jesus. Okay. Oh my god, I need to fill in a password for this. Okay, maybe one of you happens to be the lucky one. The chance is pretty slim. What is my password here? I hope it's not gonna ask too much verification stuff. Alright, who's winning the thing? The Forkman tier membership for 1 month. Hopefully it's someone who I at least recognize. Like the chances are pretty big that it's not someone I recognize. That it's someone from way back in the day, because I think it gives to any subscriber. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see. There you go. It's on my alt, by the way. Hey, Frey Toldy, you got it. Oh my god, how lucky. Yo, you actually got the membership. That's a W. W. Oh my god, you're a Forkman tier member now. Hey, you can use my emotes now. I don't know if Freddy is still here, but Freddy also has the emotes. So you're gonna be a member for 1 month now. If you are in my Discord server, I think, right? Let me check. Well, that's a W. Maybe they changed it. If you're in my Discord server and you link your YouTube account with your Discord account, it's actually something you do through Discord. Then you can also get access to my member alley. But I don't think there's too much to get there right now. It's basically just me posting early access, which is also just mayor tier and higher. But if you really want to, you can get access there. Welcome back, Luca. Oh my god. Actually, that's really cool. I hope they actually fixed it. Oh, Discord is banned, yeah. Okay, it's kind of funny though that you got it gifted. I don't know if YouTube changed this or not. I'm gonna stop Llama Tune. So this is kind of funny. I don't know, like if you know, if it actually targets players or people that are in the live chat, then that is a change, and that would be really cool. I mean, you know what? I will do another one. I will test it. We can test it totally, because I will do another one if it gives again to someone in the chat. You guys stick around. I will do another gift sub. And I will get like a part of this payment back anyway, so for me it's not as expensive. Oh, this is annoying that I have to fill in the password again. But yeah, I did just say that I want to verify for every purchase, so I guess fair. Let's see, we're done with the games. We're definitely done with the games. Yeah, I need to go to the toilet soon. And I most definitely need to start making my lunch, because I've not eaten anything yet. Or I guess a cookie and a banana. Which is like nothing. Oh. Okay, let's see. Now what? Are we gonna get another person in the live chat that is getting a membership right now? I really hope so, because that means that they fixed this. Yeah, I think they did it. I think they fixed it. This is okay. You know what? This is gonna make it much more interesting for me to give memberships. Luca, also welcome to the members. I call this actually at some point the hypo fill. I don't know if that's something I would officially use still. But Luca, also welcome in. Hi, what's happening? I am so confused. You are officially a member of my channel. It used to be so random. This is so much better. I'm so happy with that change because now I can just like, I can, you know, especially since I have creator money, I can just give memberships to people who are watching the streams, and you guys get to use the emotes, so that the emotes get used a bit more as well. You guys also get, for 1 month, you have this membership. You get access to, if you go to my channel page, and there is in the videos, there's like a tab for member only videos. There is a couple of videos, mostly old videos. There's a couple new videos there too. I think I had a long play last year that I released there with building a Christmas tree. Also some behind the scenes of the April Fool's video. Like, those are videos that you can absolutely check out if you want to after this stream. Those are like member exclusive videos. You also have like the emotes, you have the badge next to your name. So that's actually I'm really cool. I'm really happy that they changed this. This is such a W from YouTube. Like, on Twitch it used to be like this for a long time already, but I prefer the YouTube thing, honestly, like YouTube streaming as well. Apart from like Twitch, and Twitch I miss, like here I miss the channel points. It would be cool to have channel points, but yeah. But that's cool. We have like this right now. So I'm checking real quick. Your advantages as Forkman tier member. I think it is not much more than what I just said. Oh, apparently I need to submit a text for information. Okay, I will do that after stream, I guess. But indeed, let's see. Levels, Forkman. You have loyalty badges, you have emojis, you have member-only polls, and you have also in the Discord, you have a member-only Discord chat and role. And something that I didn't put there, but is also included, is the member-exclusive videos. But that is everything you get as Forkman tier. But that's actually a pretty nice deal, in my opinion. I'm watching gameplay videos from 2021 today, yeah. Like, if I look at my content that are like member... Can I see what is member exclusive? Probably not, but maybe I can on my YouTube channel page. I think there's like 12 videos or so. Members only. Oh, I had a stream highlights video that I put member only. Some of these videos, by the way, they look member only, but they are like not members only, because they're basically just like early access variations from real videos. So most of these, like, yeah, like the one with we have 2 lives as alpha is not member exclusive. Halloween special is not exclusive. We Need More Chaos is also not exclusive. I would say, like, if you check my member page, the 2 ones that are... I think my stream highlights might also not be member exclusive. The ones out of my head that are member exclusives are like the 7 first videos that you will see. There's like... It also says like member content on the thumbnail. And then the behind the scenes that I released this year. Yeah, that's like the member exclusive you will find. I was gifted a membership here at previous year's summer too. Actually, will the pattern continue in 27? Who knows? But I would say if you just watch more you watch pretty frequently, but if you watch here like all the time, pretty much, I think you will get it earlier than 2027. In honesty, because I will probably do this. I will not do this weekly, but I will probably do this like at least monthly. Yeah, it kind of depends. Like, if you are lucky and you are like right now at a relatively calm time, you will obviously like have less other people who can win it. So, all right, now I'm gonna really end it. I've been wrapping up for like 20 minutes now already. All right, thank you guys for watching. Tier list was fun. Also, the games were fun, even though we only played 2. And I'm happy that the tier list or that the membership thing got fixed. Actually, fine with gifting. All right, I will be back next week because this weekend I will focus on videos and a short again. So, all right, see you later, and don't be a traitor. Goodbye.